I reached out to scholars, including Professor Abdul Hakim Murad at Cambridge. I sent him my criticisms about how Islam treats women or its historical spread. He didn't just give me opinions, he gave me sources. He challenged me to stop reading what critics said about Islam and start reading what Muslims actually believed. I began to compare the life of the Prophet Muhammad with the prophets I knew from the Bible, like David and Solomon. I realized that if I accepted them as prophets despite their human complexities, I had no logical reason to reject him. The more I wrote, the less of an anti-Islam critic I became. I was no longer writing a political manifesto, I was documenting a spiritual transformation. I remember the moment the weight of it all became too much. I had all the evidence in front of me, but my heart was stubborn. One day, while moving books, a copy of the Quran fell. I picked it up and my eyes landed on a verse that said, "It is not the eyes that are blind, but the hearts." It felt like a mirror was being held up to my soul. I realized I could see the truth with my eyes, but I was too proud to let it into my heart. That night, I prayed for a sign. I didn't care if it was the God of the Bible or the God of the Quran, I just wanted to know the right path. I fell into a deep sleep and woke up with a sense of safety and peace I had never experienced before. All my doubts had melted away like snow under the sun. I realized then that I was a Muslim. The aftermath was a storm. I received over 2,000 death threats. People I had worked with for years turned into strangers. My mother cried when I told her, but my wife, with a beautiful and open heart, supported me, saying that if this brought me peace, she was. I was born in Amsterdam on a cold January day in 1979, raised in a traditional Protestant household where the Bible was our compass and the church was our second home. My world was defined by the tenets of Christianity. I believed in the Trinity, in salvation, and that Jesus was the Son of God. Yet, as I grew into my teenage years, a friction began to develop between my faith and my logic. I questioned the concept of a God who was immortal yet dies, or a God who was one yet three. I asked priests and scholars, but the answers were always the same: just believe. I tucked those doubts away, assuming I simply wasn't clever enough to understand. Life took a sharp turn on September 11, 2001. That was my first day of college, and it cemented a dark image of Islam in my mind. To me, Muslims were fanatics and their religion was a lie. This feeling intensified years later when a filmmaker was murdered on the streets of Holland. I felt I had to act. I entered politics, joining the Freedom Party, and eventually became a member of parliament. My mission was clear: I wanted to protect my country from what I perceived as a grave threat. I decided to write a book that would definitively prove to the world why Islam was dangerous. However, as I began my research, my intentions shifted from political to deeply personal. I started comparing the Islamic concept of God with the Christian one. I found Tawhid, the absolute oneness of God. And it resonated with the logical gaps I had felt as a teenager. I looked at the Old Testament and saw the same message: the Lord your God is one. Even the words of Jesus mirrored this. I was confused. Was I finding the truth in the very place I sought to destroy? Happy. The most difficult conversation was with my 93-year-old grandfather. When I finally gathered the courage to tell him, he closed his eyes for a long moment. Then he looked at me and joked, "Well, at least you didn't become a Catholic." Today, my life is dedicated to undoing the misconceptions I once helped spread. I use virtual reality in education to show people the true, peaceful face of Islam. I spent years searching for a way to expose a lie, only to be captured by the truth. I am happier and more at peace now than I have ever been. My only advice to those who are skeptical is to close the computer, put away the headlines, and read the story of the Prophet's life for yourself. You might find that the truth is much closer than you think. Would you like me to help you create a professional thumbnail for the script as well?